to turn to Roya Izadi, Assistant Professor, the Department of Political Science at the University of Rhode Island, and a Gender and Security Lab Research Associate. Roya, against the backdrop of increasing anti-gender backlash, how can academia strategically present evidence and work with policymakers in ways that strengthen political will and enhance women, peace, and security implementation?
Thank you so much, Phoebe, and the IPI team for inviting the Gender and Security Sector Lab today and for hosting. I've had the pleasure of working with the Gender and Security Sector Lab since 2021, and I've been involved in implementing the MOWIP methodology in multiple countries, multiple security institutions. I would like to start with reminding everyone that in the last few years, countries around the world have witnessed a surge in militarization. From escalating geopolitical tensions and renewed interstate wars to persistent civil conflicts, the military and security forces' footprint in public life has expanded. Defense budgets are climbing, conscription is being renewed in multiple countries or extended across genders or lengthened in duration. On top of that, we have increasing involvement of military for domestic purposes. Yet even as global militarization intensifies, we see a worrying shift in priorities. And it's a move away from conflict management, including the highly important women, peace, and security agenda. This shift is deeply worrying and concerning. When attention and resources move away from peace building toward militarization, the predictable outcome, and this is according to scientific research, the predictable outcome is more war and conflict, fewer opportunities for conflict resolution, and higher human costs and casualties. Decades of rigorous academic research have shown that peacekeeping works. Hundreds of peer-reviewed studies show that peacekeeping operations reduce the likelihood of renewed conflict, save civilian lives, and create the space necessary for political solutions to take place. We also know from scientific evidence that women's inclusion strengthens peace operations. Missions with higher number of female peacekeepers are more effective, they improve local trust, they reduce misconduct, and contribute to more durable peace. And these are evidence-based findings grounded in data and field research. Now, in this moment of rising anti-gender backlash, the challenge for all of us is not only to not retreat from the WPS agenda, but to show that it works. And this is exactly where academia comes in. One way to enhance WPS implementation is translating this rigorous scientific evidence into the language that resonates with political priorities. For example, showing that women's inclusion is a matter of effectiveness and national security. At the Gender and Security Sector Lab, we have done this in practical ways. Our work uses cutting-edge social science methods to understand how and why women strengthen peacekeeping missions, not only by increasing their participation, but by transforming the culture, effectiveness, and the legitimacy of the security sector itself and peacekeeping missions. To give you an example, the GSS Lab have completed about 12 MOWIP assessments in 12 police and troop contributing countries in 10 countries. And our research process establishes the top persistent barriers to women's meaningful participation in each contributing country and in aggregate form across multiple security institutions. And those findings can map directly onto future mission models to show where gender responsiveness raises effectiveness and where lack of it stalls reforms. We also quantify what works. For example, when it comes to misconduct prevention, across more than 4,000 uniformed personnel that the Gender and Security Sector Lab has surveyed, we find that pre-deployment SCA training was actually associated with stronger compliance in attitudes. So these are evidence-based findings, and they make an evidence-based budget case for, say, scaling training and enforcement. And we have seen what works, what that looks like in practice too. To give you another example, so in Liberia, the Armed Forces of Liberia implemented the MOWIP assessment in 2022. And since then, the number of women in the AFL has nearly doubled. During a follow-up interview with members of the AFL in July 2025, one senior officer explained this change, and I'm quoting, "We realized that if we want more women, we cannot expect them to walk in with the same preparation as men. The pre-training gives them a fair chance." Our GLOBE, which is our Future of Peacekeeping Needs Everyone report, which will be available outside the door if you're interested to grab one, also highlights how peacekeeping missions are evolving to take on different models. But we use scientific, rigorous research to show that no matter what form peacekeeping missions take in the future, women are integral to their success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roya, and thank you for flagging that point of translating the research. I think that's extremely important.